You're watching Ohio Valley Conference football on ESPN Plus, coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, as you just saw Broadway, and now you see Nissan Stadium, home to the NFL's Tennessee Titans, and today, home to Tennessee State University, the Tigers, making it Roar City as they welcome in the defending FCS national champion North Dakota State Bison. Welcome inside the booth, Dan Lang, alongside five-time Hall of Famer Darren Arbett. And as you take a look at this matchup, it is game 2 for both of these squads.
It is, and North Dakota State, they're downhill. They want to pound it. You got Tennessee State, big play team. They showed that last week.
Let's take a look at the matchup comparison for these two teams and how the numbers came out after one contest. And you can see North Dakota State, the Bison, had the big win over the Citadel, and Tennessee State squeaked past NCAAF.
But you see that 256 yards rushing. They were going downhill. They want to pound that rock. The quarterback can run with it. The running backs can run with it. They're going to have 2 tight ends. They're going to have fullbacks. They're going to run the football.
Let's take a look at the series history, which is presented by ServPro, the official restoration services partner of the OVC. Only one game in the books, and that was last year between these two teams.
It was a tough one for Tennessee State. North Dakota State, they came in, they dominated. Obviously, they won the whole thing last year, so they played the eventual champions. We got to see what happens today.
And speaking of what happens, let's take a look at the quarterbacks, because they'll have a big say in what happens. And first up for the visiting Bison, it's Cole Payton under center.
You got to love this guy. 233 pounds. He's a lefty. He's going to run that quarterback draw. He's not going to go out of bounds. He's going to try to run you over. And those linemen, they play hard for him, those tight ends and those fullbacks.
As for TSU, the quarterback is Jonathan Palmer, getting his second career start.
Got his feet wet last week. He has some playmakers. He needs to get the ball into the playmakers' hands, and Coach Barlow feels he can do that this week.
Let's take a look at the stats that these two guys put up in the first game of their seasons, and you can see one thing, fairly even.
Yeah, 192 yards by big fella Peyton, and like I said, he can run the ball as well. I'm excited about this game. You got Greg Williams on the other side, defensive coordinator. He's going to stack that box.
And we're set for kickoff here in Nashville as Freddie Perez is set to kick to the Bison. Deep for North Dakota State will be Raja Nelson and Jackson Williams. Perez has it up, and it will be Nelson at the 10, 20, has a seam out to about the 25-yard line before he's tripped up. So pretty good field position for the Bison to begin this one.
It really is, and Sharp, the third, tripped him up, or there was a lot of grass out there in front of him.
And Williams has had a couple kick returns so far this season, but the Bison's potent offense will come out. Cole Payton is under center. We hit on him in the open. Senior quarterback, has been around the squad for a while, but this is his first year starting. A guy that's a run-first quarterback, so we'll see what happens here this afternoon on an overcast day here in Nashville. First pass is complete. That's Barika Panu, able to catch that one out of the backfield. Panu had a catch for 20 yards in that first game. The 38-0 win on the road at the Citadel. Bison went home for a few days, then got in last night to Nashville. Slept quick, as they say. Got up this morning, had the pregame meal, and made their way here to Nissan Stadium. Handoff goes to Panu, and he's out to about the 40-yard line, so that should be good for a first down, and it is. Let's take a look at our keys to the game, which are brought to you by Wilson, the official football of the OVC.
Yeah, North Dakota State, they want to start fast, and you see right there they got a first down, moving the chains. They got the experience advantage. Definitely have that. Got to contain Rhymes today. He had a great day last week, and then hold that line. As you see, Greg Williams is stacking that box.
So it's a 1st and 10 on their 39-yard line. Rollouts, and that's going to be complete to Carson Williams, who pushes forward, and a bunch of Tigers needed to pull him down, but not until he gets across midfield to about the 45-yard line.
They're just moving the chains. That's what they do. 5,
Methodical.
10, 6. Methodical. Yes, that's a great word right there. And you saw that tight end when he caught that ball. He carried about 3 guys with him. They're very physical, like him. I like Diggins a lot. He's strong, and he also can block, Dan.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 on the TSU 46-yard line. Peyton letting the clock run down a bit. Clock management also something to watch for in this game, as there he's able to thread the needle across the middle. And again, go to his tight end, Carson Williams, 6'4", 247-pound senior.
Yeah, Wilson brought him down that time, but not before he got about 8 yards on that. Nice throw there by Peyton. I like him, and I like that offensive line with Fraley, the All-American there.
Yeah, a bunch of big fellas up front for the Bison. Fraley, a junior, 6'1", over 300 pounds, looked at as the leader of this squad. You can see him there pointing stuff out, directing that offensive line, which a good center does, and that's exactly what Fraley is. Here, churning the legs, DJ Scott's bouncing off a couple players and able to pick up a big chunk of yardage.
And you heard Coach say they're just going to try to run downhill, and that's what they do. They had that a tight end in, they had a fullback in. That's what they do. They want to play power football.
So another fresh set for the Bison. A program that has won 38 conference championships, 18 national championships, 10-time FCS national champs. They won it all a year ago, and right now they are ranked atop the rankings. Again, the handoff here goes to Scott, the sophomore out of Florida, the transfer in from Kennesaw State.
Hard runner. They really like him. He can do things with the football. Came in, gave him that speed in the backfield. Also powerful downhill. You see right there, just turning those legs, taking 2 defenders with him there.
So a pickup of 4. In motion is Nelson. Here's a little time. Now under pressure is Peyton. Able to pick up a few yards.
And that's what he can do right there. Great coverage, snuck outside. He's going to run with that football. Put his team in a 3rd and manageable now. Gets outside there, diving. Just a gritty quarterback.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 5. A bit of a test here for the Tigers defense here early on. Peyton in the shotgun. Chucks it across the middle. Finds his man inside the 10-yard line before he's brought down. That was Bryce Lance, who we're going to be talking a lot about here this afternoon.
A lot about. That's who they want to get the ball. They want to get the ball in his hands. Brother Trey Lance, quarterback, high draft choice. Now he's coming through North Dakota State. He's doing his thing, and he's playing really well for them.
6'3", 209-pounder, speedy guy. Obviously, we just talked about the height he has, and you just saw the ability that he has. So it'll be a 1st and goal from the 10 for the Bison. Handoff here, chucking forward, a few yards, still going, and into the end zone is Penu.
They just got in that 22 set, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, downhill, big guys up front, making things happen. And you saw right there, they got into the end zone, Dan.
Penu kept churning those legs, and we've seen that a couple times from them on this first drive from the Bison, and he was able to hit pay dirt.
Just that power football downhill. Those defensive linemen offensive linemen look at him, double team there, scoop up to the next level, put a guy down, get into the end zone, touchdown.
$6-0 lead for North Dakota State, who failed to score in the opening stanza against the Citadel, but able to do so here on the opening drive against TSU. The extra point good, and it's 7-0 North Dakota State.
Methodical. I like what you said. That was a nice, methodical drive. This is the kind of football they want to play. They want to just get the ball down the field, hand it off, quarterback will run a little. That 22 set with those two tight ends, those two running backs, and just play power football.
So we'll see how TSU comes out and answers. And, you know, that's exactly what, as far as from the way the opening part of the game went, TSU head coach Reggie Barlow wanted to kick off, wanted to get the defense on the field to start, was able to do that, but unfortunately the Bison worked it down the field.
And like Coach Barlow told you, this is a game, he tells his young men, this is the #1 team in FCS football right now. There's going to be NFL scouts wanting. You want to get an opportunity for them to look at you. They have a few All-Americans over there. You play well against this team, you're going to get on their radar.
Yeah, when NFL scouts come in and they start asking for tape, looking at tape, where are they going to go? They're going to go against the best. They're going to go against the elite programs that TSU has on the schedule, and top of the list is North Dakota State.
And I see Coach Williams has them huddled up down there, the whole defense, and he's talking to them right now, and I'm sure he's telling them, hey, let's put our big boy pants on because this is happening right now.
Pretty good crowd on hand here. Overcast afternoon. Rained a lot earlier today. When we arrived at the stadium a couple hours from kickoff, it was still a little slick down there on the field. Supposedly, there is rain in the area for about another 2 hours, and then it should be out of here. As the kickoff here is up. That's going to be out of the back of the end zone. So TSU will have decent field position to start their first offensive series.
Rhymes, #1, playmaker. And they've shown, like I said in the open, they're a big play offense right now with Slaughter and Rhymes breaking those big ones. Let's see, can they methodically, I'm going to use your word again, move the ball.
I like that word.
Yeah, move the ball down the field.
Yeah, Kendrick Rhymes, a guy they look at as a home run hitter. And he was able to do that in the first game of the season. 21 carries, 174 yards, averaged over 8 yards a carry, racked up a pair of touchdowns. Wearing #1. He's in the backfield with Palmer.
Timeout. Tennessee State, their first of the half. Media timeout.
So you can see the offensive coordinator there upset. Clock management, we talked about it. We'll come back after this as we manage our clock here in the booth. At Nissan Stadium, 7-0 the Bison, the top-ranked team in the country, on top of Tennessee State. Last time out, take a look at what each of these teams did. In the win column, the Bison beat the Citadel, and the Tigers pounced on NCAAF. Palmer here quickly check that. He tosses it, incomplete. He had me faked out on that first play, looking to Rhymes.
Yeah, good coverage there by #29, Gimmons. Just the guy that Palmer wanted to throw the ball to, he jumped him and everyone else was covered. So he did a nice job just throwing the ball away with pressure on him.
Clock management was one of the things that head coach Reggie Barlow of TSU was talking about with us before the game earlier this week. And he said one of the things he's got to make sure of is that Palmer knows where the play clock is so he can see as it winds down. Here, tosses it too far in front of Rhymes. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10.
Woolen, their #1, playing that tight coverage. You saw they're very sticky there on defense, and they're getting pressure. So this is a down that coaches from TSU is going to want to have success on. That's what Coach Barlow talked about, is having success on 3rd down.
So it is 3rd and long here. Palmer's in the shotgun. Low snap, able to handle it. Now goes up top. That's going to be incomplete. Was looking there for Brock Montgomery. So that's going to bring on the punting unit.
That was a heck of a catch by Montgomery. Look at this catch right here. Boom, one hand brings it in, goes down, just out of bounds. So,
I was going to say.
Yeah, but he made a play on the football.
6'2", 204-pounder. Had a couple catches in the season opener. Mark Shanuda is here to punt. He had 8 punts in the season opener. Low snap, able to get this one off. Back toward the 30-yard line is where this will be fielded to the 40. Still on his feet. It's across midfield, racing down the sideline before being shoved out of bounds as Jackson Williams, and another good field position for NDSU to start on when we come back here in Nashville. Players to watch presented by Jostens. Jostens, the official recognition company of the OVC, as North Dakota State has the 7-0 lead on TSU. They come out, North Dakota State does, for their second offensive series.
Those three right there are heck of a players. Cole Payton, I've talked about him in the open, that first drive. Fraley, an All-American. Dad's an NFL player, NFL coach right now. And then Lance, he's definitely a playmaker for the Bison.
So they will start on the TSU 20-yard line. And here, the handoff will go to Panu as he's shoved out of bounds. Nice pickup there for him.
Yeah, Panu, he's from West Fargo. Homegrown player they develop. That's another thing I think they do very well, is develop players. As he ran that stretch and got outside there and got out of bounds, but not before he got like 5 or 6 yards though.
Got 4 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 6. Payton taking his time. Now slings it, completes, as he's able to find Raja Nelson, who last week had a couple catches for 60 yards and a touchdown in their win over the Citadel.
Yeah, Nelson, a lot of speed and quickness. They like to get the ball in his hands, and you saw in that return, he had a little speed getting up through those holes.
So 1st and goal from the 8. Nelson sent in motion. The handoff to Panu. Gain of a few yards to about the 5-yard line.
That was Stewart who came in there and gave him a nice hit there. Jolted him. James Stewart, heck, had a great game last week. Played really well.
6 tackles, had a sack. Player, the coaches really high on him. Spent time at Middle Tennessee State, also Memphis. Payton hands it off to Panu, staying on his feet down toward the end zone, and he's going to get past the pylon and in. 2nd score of the game quickly here for the Bison.
He's running off that left side, that big package, handing the ball to Panu. You see what he does. He just gets into that end zone, running hard, running off that left side of him, getting up to that 2nd level, a body on a body. Did he get in? Huh.
Looks like they're going to quickly go ahead and attempt the extra point.
Jaden Cook pushed him, thought he pushed him out before he got in.
Kick here is up, and it is good. So the extra point splits the uprights, and it's a 14-0 Bison lead. Timeout on the field. We'll take it as well. Back here to the Music City in a flash. Today's game is brought to you in part by Jostens. Jostens, the official recognition company of the OVC. North Dakota State out to a 14-0 lead over the TSU Tigers as we take a look at the impact players on TSU's side.
Jonathan Palmer, he's going to have to just get the ball out, need protection to do that. He's going to have to be good with the football today, and Kendrick Rhymes need a big play for him. You need a really big play for him. But I like his speed, though, Dan. This is a great gauge for the Tennessee State football team. It's a great gauge.
And a chance for them to try to make a statement and chip away. Fielded in the end zone, brought out to the 10. Still on his feet, out to about the 15-yard line before being brought down.
Yeah, just went to the left there. Was deep in the end zone. Sometimes coaches want you to just stay in that end zone, but he came out, got the ball to about the 16-yard line. Last week, I thought they were flipping the field with their punts, and they had good field position on kickoffs and turnovers. Tennessee State did last week.
So TSU will start their offense on the 16-yard line. Palmer hands it off. Again, out to about the 18-yard line.
They're just trying to go off that left side of Howell and Zubo.
So Rhymes with the carry there. Guy that they want to try to get out in the passing game a bit more than they did in the first game. Palmer has a bit of time, slings it across midfield and able to get it to about the 20-yard line. Complete there to Slaughter.
I like that, Dan. Get the ball out of his hands. Let's get some completions. You see right there, just easy throw and catch. But you saw Kopp there. He's a heck of a linebacker from St. Louis, Missouri there. He can play number 43.
Had 9 tackles a week ago and one of the best players on this Bison defense. Here's Palmer, not much time. He's under pressure and he's brought down. Brought down in a big way by one of the key defensive ends, Toby Anena.
Anena, it's like he was shot out of a cannon coming off that edge there. Just ripped the hand down, ran right by him. Nice sack.
Able to get past Van to go, the right tackle, big fella, 6'6", 325 pounds, but Anena able to get in there and pull him down. Anena had a couple tackles, including 1 tackle for a loss in the season opener. So here's Shinuda now having to punt from the end zone, able to get it off. And at about the 47-yard line, that's where Jackson Williams will be shoved out.
They want to touch the football. You see Jackson Williams, he came up and caught that ball, and they just play hard. Now, for Tennessee State, like I said, from a coaching, this is a good game. The one thing about athletes is that you think you're better than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Now this film, the film doesn't lie. Coaches,
the eye in the sky don't lie.
the coaches will have a great opportunity to develop this team and to get them to do what they want.
So we'll see here as North Dakota State brings Cole Payton out, familiar spot in that shotgun. Sends his man in motion. Instead keeps it himself and pops it up the field for the gain of about 5 or so.
Yeah, Lewinsky, you see him just drop back, go through the hole, and the running back just follows big number 66, the 300-pound sophomore, through the hole there for 4 or 5 yards.
They can get creative on offense, the Bison, as far as just putting the big fellas there and just moving the line. And that's something that TSU's got to be cognizant of, and we've already seen it a little bit here in their first couple of drives. Third drive of the game for the Bison. Here Payton going to go up top, looking deep and unable to find his receiver.
They were in 11 personnel there, and you saw the receiver Nelson touch his face mask, and that's when Peyton knew he was just going to run a fade, and he just threw that ball to him. Timing was off on it, and good coverage by the Tennessee Titans.
So it's now going to be 3rd down and 5 from the TSU 37-yard line. Here's Peyton orchestrating. Now he's got a little bit of time, slings it over, and that's going to be Lance who catches it at about the 35-yard line before he's brought down.
Yeah,
that's going to be shy.
Cook made a great play just driving on that from that cornerback spot, drove on it, drove through the tackle. Nice play by him.
So it's going to be a 4th down and 1, and that's going to keep the Bison offense on the field. Last game, 1 for 1 on 4th down attempts against the Citadel. Peyton's up under center. He'll keep it himself, pushing forward, and is able to get that 1st down. TSU says no, but the Bison saying yes, and indeed the chains will be moved, so a fresh set.
They had put Shivers in there, the 400-pounder, right there over center. But North Dakota State just kept those legs moving and driving and got the 1st down.
Shivers, big fella, 6'4", 400-pound freshman from Brentwood Academy. One of the local guys on this TSU roster. A lot of local players, which Nashville, a hotbed for football in the high schools. Able to pull some down here. Slinging it here and finding Lance inside the 10-yard line. Lance with a big chunk play there.
Yes, a fellow there, number 10, he was off. I think he was just getting depth. They were playing the zone, and Lance stopped and caught that football for a big 1st down.
So it'll be a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for North Dakota State. Peyton, a lefty, run first, gets the convoy in front of him when he does that. Takes his time. Now the handoff here goes to Scott, churns those legs and gets inside the 5, down to about the 3 or so before he's brought down.
Watch for the boot, because right there he had the 2 tight ends on that left side, handed it off. Running back goes to the 2 tight ends, and he booted the ball. He booted out without the ball, so that's something I'm sure Coach Williams is going to tell him to watch for.
Peyton's had a pretty good game so far, 7 for 8, 81 yards. As he's orchestrated a couple scoring drives and looking to do it again here. 2nd and 4. He's going to toss it toward the end zone. That's going to be incomplete. Was looking for his big tight ends, but unable to connect on it.
Stewart did a great job for the Tigers defense, putting pressure on Peyton there. Peyton couldn't get that throw. He kind of double pumped that thing, and then by the time he threw the football, there was coverage there for the Tigers.
Some changes on the TSU defense. So it'll be another 3rd down. It's 3rd and 4. Peyton in the shotgun. Tigers crowding up a bit. Now under pressure. Peyton rolling out, throwing it toward the back of the end zone. Nothing going on that play. And it looks like that's going to force North Dakota State to bring on the field goal unit.
That's a win right there for the Tigers. Good goal line defense. Good coverage there. Stopping the run.
So that's going to bring on Eli Osick for the field goal. 1 for 1 in that opener. This kick is up, and it is through the uprights, so he's able to split it. Perfect 2 for 2 on the young season for the sophomore quarterback out of Liberty, Missouri. 17-0, the Bison on top of the Tigers here in the first. So when you're a coach and you can see their North Dakota State's sideline, what are they talking about here? You're up 17-0. You've scored on all 3 of your offensive drives. The offense just comes off the field. What are they chatting about?
We didn't finish that drive. We are a team that we get into the red zone, we put the ball into the end zone.
And that was the offensive line they were talking to. Trent Fraley right there in the middle of it.
And that is what the spark that the Tigers needed. They got that defensive stop. They had the ball inside the 5, felt they were going to get in, didn't get in. Great stop for them. That's a positive for this Tennessee State Tiger football team.
So Taylor back to receive for TSU. Taking it in the end zone. So we'll see what the TSU offense has up their sleeve as they try to get on the board.
It's a big drive for them.
Because you want to see them come out, start to establish at least moving the ball, getting some first downs, getting a little bit of confidence.
Definitely need that confidence, and you know Coach Harris, that's what he talked about, is that confidence and just moving the football, moving the chains.
Here's Palmer. He's going to keep it himself, bounce off, and now he's going to be brought down.
Yeah, they called the right play. Palmer tried to hit it up in there, but that North Dakota State defense was filling those gaps pretty quickly, so loss of about two yards there.
Less than a minute to work with here in the first quarter. It'll be a 2nd down and 8. It'll be a 2nd down and 13, and the handoff will go to Rhymes as he pushes forward before Kendrick is brought down.
I think we're going to have a hold there. Tennessee State offensive line.
Some laundry on the field.
Yeah, 20 times was the number that he wanted to.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 by each team. Holding, offense number 70. Offside, defense. Those fouls offset. Will replay 2nd down.
So it'll be a 2nd down and 13 from the 22 with 22 seconds left to work with here in the first quarter. Handoff here, goes for a big gain up to about the 30, but the ball is loose. Bunch of Bison near it, and looks like North Dakota State is going to come away with the football.
Yeah, number 1480 came up with that fumble.
Rolling on the field is a fumble by the offense, recovered by the defense. It'll be 1st down, North Dakota State.
Running that football, just gave it up. Going to have that 4 points of pressure right there. And you see Rhymes, the ball came out. That's one he definitely wants back.
There you can see Rhymes just coughed it up. I couldn't see, was it poked out or did he just lose it? Was the ball maybe a little slick?
The way it came out, I think
Seemed
you're
like
right.
someone might
Yeah,
have
somebody
gotten behind it and
came
chucked
from
it out.
behind and
Yeah.
knocked that ball out.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the TSU 33 for North Dakota State across the 30 as this first quarter winds down. And indeed, that'll be the last play of the quarter.
This is the end of the first quarter.
So the first stanza in the books here in Nashville, and it is a 17-0 North Dakota State lead over TSU. Lions. Here it's North Dakota State's top-ranked team in the country, the Bison, beating TSU 17-0 as we move to the second quarter. Let's take a look at head coach Reggie Barlow at TSU. First season as head coach of the UFL's DC Defenders, 2023 XFL Coach of the Year, head coach at Virginia State for 6 seasons. Reggie's been around, and TSU glad to be able to pick him up after Eddie George departed for Bowling Green.
Won a lot of games, Reggie has. He's developed players. He's done a good job.
There you see Tim Palasic, the head coach for North Dakota State, second year leading them. Long coaching history for Coach Palasic, as here that offensive line is just barreling forward, continuing down inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line, and that is exactly what the scouting report said. The big fellas just keep walking, churning, and that's what they would end up with as positive yardage. And again, that's Panu able to get the yardage, but that one you credit the offensive line.
I really do. I mean, the receivers block like that. They're blocking downfield, tight ends.
Here's a pass out. Big hit there. After the pass was complete to Logan Conklin, his second catch of the year.
It's Byron Davis, when I saw number 27 getting that big hit. See the swing pass there, gets it out, and saw that was 47, Matthew Wilson, making that big hit there from that middle linebacker spot.
Redshirt freshman from Tampa, Wilson is. So it'll be a 2nd down and 6 with the ball on the TSU 12. Here, Peyton pulls it down, takes it himself inside the 10 to about the 5-yard line before he steps out. A lot of times he's the type of guy that'll put that shoulder down and try to get an extra yard or two, but at this point in the game, figures step out, preserve the body.
He saw number 32, Coleman, coming at that angle, and Peyton just stepped out of bounds, but you're right. He usually don't step out of bounds. He'll drop that shoulder on you. Big fella, 233-pound lefty.
Has that offensive line mentality, hard-nosed. He's played tight end and fullback, so he's really used to what this Bison offense is, even though it's his first year starting at quarterback. Here the handoff goes, still churning forward, and this is going to get into the end zone, and another touchdown for the Bison. Big dudes go to work, push it across, and it's 23-0. Bison awaiting the extra points, and again, Panu able to get in there and hit pay dirt.
Just love watching the offensive line get their due, and you see them. They're just bending those knees, and there 3 or 4 of them. Look, 5 come in and pushing that pile and get into the end zone. Touchdown, Bison.
Extra point attempt. Ozick will split it through. There are some whistles on the field.
Illegal substitution. Defense, more than 11 players on the field. That penalty is declined. The try is good. Timeout, media.
So the extra point is good. That makes it 24-0 Bison here in Nashville. Back with more after this. Back here inside Nissan Stadium, home to the Tennessee Titans. Today home to Tennessee State's. The Tigers, Roar City, but it's been North Dakota State's coming out with big things early, and there you see one of the breakthrough performances for TSU.
Yeah, you see there 3 tackles and 2 fumble recoveries. Cephalua, he's a great player. Made some plays today on that goal line stand. He made a play there, so he needs to make more plays for the Tigers.
Another one of the local products from here in Nashville. Cephalua went to Hillsboro, came here from Nebraska. Ball fielded at the 2-yard line, out to the 10, bouncing off a couple defenders. There's some laundry thrown on the field.
See, now that's a tough one for the return guy, man, because he doesn't know if that ball's going to go out of bounds or not, and it looked like it was dying, so he had to pick it up. Otherwise, he had to pick it up and try to run with it. So that was one. Those are hard.
And you're in the game mode.
At the 12.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Tennessee State.
And you mentioned that, but you know, you're also in the game moment. You have guys racing down the field at you. You're trying to look up at the ball, have field awareness. There's a lot going on. It's easy for us to second guess, and I like the way you pointed it out there, saying that is a tough moment for him.
Yeah, you see it right. He had to make a decision, and he just picked it up. It was a split-second decision. Okay, is this thing going to go out of bounds? And then it slowed down on him, so he just picked it up and started running and get as much as he could.
So that'll back up Tennessee State's offense. Handoff here, gain of a few yards.
Number 10, McNair, got that ball and ran right up the middle, put his shoulder down, ran hard. I like that. Had a puller in front of him. Actually, it wasn't a puller. They had a fullback at that nub position there, and he ran up through the hole to lead him through.
Byron McNair, freshman from St. Louis, transferred in from the NAIA level, was the QB2 on the roster. McNair here hands it off and nothing going. Racing in was Donovan Woolen, making his presence felt for the second time here this afternoon.
Woolen just coming off that edge. He's screaming off that edge. It's like they knew what to play, like they were in the huddle with them. Came off the edge, made that play. That defensive line is really stout up the middle. Keenan Wilson, I really like him, 6'1", 283 pounds, clogging up everything.
McNair, a guy the coaches say has a lot of upside and a bright future. Here he's going to toss it out, finds his man out to close to a first down, but it's going to be shy, as Brock Montgomery was able to haul that one in. Saw him with a nice catch, but it was out of bounds the first time. This time, able to get the catch, but not enough for the fresh set, so that's going to bring on the punting unit.
Yeah, McNair got that ball out there quick, fast, in a hurry, and that's what you want. Just wasn't able to get the first down.
So that's going to bring out Shanuda, as Mark is on to punt again. It'll be his third punt of the game. He's averaged 41 yards per punt so far here this afternoon. Low snap, barely got that one off, but able to do so, just getting it to the other side of the field, across midfield. Short gain before being brought down there was Jackson Williams. So the Bison offense takes the field when we continue from Nashville. It's all North Dakota State here in the second. Back here to Nashville, just off Broadway here in Music City. North Dakota State's up big on TSU, and taking a look at that North Dakota State's football factory dating back to 1894. You know, they kind of live the DJ Khaled song, "All I Do Is Win, Win, Win," because they've done plenty of winning.
32 playoff appearances.
Yeah.
My goodness. And you're right. Doesn't matter what coach is there, what players are there. I don't know if it's the building, the uniforms. They just win, win, win.
46 NFL drafted players. Here's Peyton as he's able to sling it downfield and in stride, find his man down to the 5-yard line. And another big chunk of yardage picked up by the Bison. That was Reese Kessel with his second catch of the year and a big one.
And you see Reese Kessel, look at him, straight arm someone, put the ball around, trying to run through a tackle. What a team to play. I mean, I see why they're #1 in the nation.
So it'll be first and goal from the 5. The handoff here goes to Scott, bounces off and into the end zone. Nice little ankle movement there for DJ Scott, the sophomore, as he's into the end zone, and it's 30-0 Bison.
Yeah, Maggin, Empey, Fraley, that right side, they just ran off that right side. Diggins, number 89, blocking. Then he just stepped outside, got into the end zone for a touchdown for the Bison.
Kicker is on, and the extra points from Ozick is good, and it is 31-0 North Dakota State's here leading TSU. When you look at the Bison and how they kind of look at this game, obviously they wanted to come here to a big city, play this game. They looked at it as a big fan game, a game that their fans went last week to the Citadel, stayed in the area, came over here, migrated to Nashville, able to spend a few days. Obviously a fun city, lots of things to do over there on Broadway, and we're able to just have a great time. My colleague over at SiriusXM, part of the Margaritaville happy hour, said that there were a ton of NDSU fans that were over there, and the energy was pretty incredible, and we see that NDSU has a lot of fans here this afternoon. So they were able to do that. Team did go home, came back in, and got up early, playing here today after the game, back on the flight, back home. So a quick turn for the team as far as the travel goes, but looking good.
With all that being said, the one thing that coach is going to say, we want to be back here in January.
Well, absolutely. As the national championship game will be played here in Nashville for this season and next season over at the stadium that houses Vanderbilt, houses the Commodores.
The stadium is getting, I guess, worked on in Frisco.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so. And then I guess they're going to see at that point where it's going to go after those 2 years. But Nashville happy to have it. And North Dakota State beating the Citadel in the opening game of the season 38-0, and leading here this afternoon 31-0 with about 10 minutes to play still here in the first half. As the TSU offense comes out. Quick pass here, just a little bit too far out in front as McNair was looking for Slaughter.
Nice throw, but Ryan Jones, number 27, was on Slaughter and was able to get his hand in there, and Slaughter wasn't able to make that catch. But I really like the release that McNair has. I really like that release of the football.
The coach has said that McNair is a guy that shows maturity, even though he's a freshman, much more mature than you would expect from a guy that's 6 foot, 176 pounds, playing in his first college season. McNair here will hand it off. Rhymes, gain of a couple yards before he's brought down. Rhymes is a guy that they have not been able to get in rhythm here today, much unlike the NCAAF opener when Rhymes really set the tone for the Tigers offense.
But I like what they're doing. You saw there they had 2 tight ends in the backfield, quarterback and the pistol. They're saying we're running football. And they did right there. We're going to hand that ball off and we're going to run. And they're letting these young men know, hey, we're going to run the football. I don't care if they know we're going to run the football and we're going to win running the football.
So it's a gain of 3 yards. It'll be a 3rd down and 7. Here's McNair. Not much time. Able to bounce out, use that speed a little bit as he tucks it, now chucks it, and that's going to be picked off. Racing the other way is Woolen, and he's going to get into the end zone. So Woolen has put his stamp on this game, a couple big tackles, and there an interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah, McNair trying to make something happen for his football team, down big. Probably should have kept that football. I'm sure coach is going to talk to him in film, but he was trying to make something happen. Got outside. I thought Woolen made a great catch there. And then not only a good catch, but then the run afterwards, that speed of that linebacker running down that sideline there for a touchdown.
Woolen able to race it in. 6'4", 219-pound sophomore linebacker from Frisco, Texas. As the extra point attempt is up and confidently kicked through the uprights, and it is 38-0 North Dakota State. The Bison with the shutout so far over TSU. Timeout on the field. We'll take it as well. Here in Nashville, Music City is the site. Nissan Stadium, just across the bridge from Broadway, and the top-ranked Bison have come into town and have the 38-0 lead on TSU. And there you look at some fun facts of Tennessee State's football dating back to 1912. 16 HBCU national championships, 5 playoff appearances, over 100 alums have played at the next level up in the NFL, including Ed Too Tall Jones.
Richard Dent.
Yep. You know, you walk into the offices up there at TSU, and it's pretty cool because down one of the hallways, all they have are pictures of the NFL guys. So you feel that when you walk in there, which is, of course, what they want for the players, to feel that pride as they walk in there. It'll be fielded at the 5-yard line. Out to about the 20, still on his feet, to about the 23-yard line before being brought down. And that's where the TSU offense will take over and try to get something on the board here, as this second quarter is just under 9 minutes to play.
Let me see who you have it. Got McNair coming back in there.
You know, and it's one of those things, when you take a look at McNair from a coaching perspective, he just threw that pick 6, but it's good that he jumps right back on the field as opposed to having to sit there for a while.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 players in formation, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Second time we've seen an illegal substitution, once on D, once on offense.
And Coach Barlow told us there's a lot of stuff.
Sure,
it was
learning
nice.
curves.
Yeah, it was nice to win last week, but there was a lot of things that he wants to clean up, and to try to do it
against North Dakota State. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the handoff to Rhymes, trying to cut it upfield, able to do so in a gain of a few yards, but North Dakota State did a good job of tracking him sideline to sideline and not really letting him cut it upfield.
They did. They run sideline to sideline. Rhymes got that football, and he was trying to get outside, and you saw the second-level guys coming up and making that play, as well as McCaslin, number 92, running all the way across the field to make that happen. The defensive end.
McNair barking it out. Now he's going to hand it off to Rhymes. Nothing going there. That not fooling anyone.
Staling, number 52.
Timeout for an injured player.
It looks like Darius Neals, 6'4", 319-pound left guard, is also down. You know, you take a look at this offensive line, and it's a very young offensive line. It's a line that last week was playing together for the first time, working with a freshman center, which is always a tough thing. But they were very pleased with what they saw from Steven Nelson a week ago, and they liked the inside zone. But they said the fundamentals were off just a little bit against NCAAF.
And you look at it, Dan, 6 starters on offense returning from a national championship team, 6 on defense. You get Tennessee State. We were doing the homework the other night, and I don't want to speak, and I'm going to let you say it because you did the homework and told me. There was one guy, the punter, who even started last year.
Mark Chinuta, yeah, the only returning starter for TSU that started in last year's game against North Dakota State. The game played up there at the Fargo Dome. And it was a 52-3 win for the Bison.
Yeah, and Reggie gets the job late. I mean, Coach Barlow gets the job late.
Comes in April.
Yeah.
You know, he had what was it, 47 players on the roster when he got here, and now has 107?
Yes. So a lot of new guys he's trying to get to jail.
McNair pushed out of bounds after the pickup of a couple yards.
And you see that speed there on McNair. There was nothing downfield, and then you saw him just run and got a few yards there. But I like the quick twitch that he has running up the field there.
So here's Mark Shanuda again trotting onto the field.
Want to flip the field here. I thought Shanuda did a nice job last week flipping the field, punting the football for the Tigers.
Experienced guy with a lot of experience. Had 3 punts. This is his 4th of the day.
There you go.
Go out at about the 30-yard line.
And that's what you want. Punt. You don't want it going down the middle. You want to kick it to the sideline, get as much yardage as you can, and get out so they don't get the big return like they got on the last one. And look at that, flip the field. Now they're on about the 29 to 30-yard line.
Nelson Sense in motion. The handoff here, gain of a few yards. Still chugging forward before the play is whistled dead.
Yep, and now just getting that ball, getting behind those big offensive linemen. What's that, about 5 or 6 yards then? Just getting behind those big offensive linemen, keeping their feet moving and getting pushed from behind by them.
Panu's done a nice job as the running back for North Dakota State. See what the officials are discussing. Looks like they were talking to the Bison, maybe the center Trent Fraley. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to play here in the second. Here's Peyton as he slings it out, finds Finn Diggins, who will be good for a first down before he's brought out of bounds. Diggins was a game-time decision that they decided was healthy enough to go. The senior out of Perham, Minnesota, 6'4", 246 pounds with his first catch of the year.
Nice tackle by Baker, who Coach Williams says he can hit you.
Yep, they were very pleased with what Baker did week 1. Baker had 9 tackles, 1.5 tackles for a loss, hits hard, and multiple coaches said, gets you to flinch back when he hits you, and that says a lot. Nelson accepts the pass and is good for a first down before he's brought down.
Just rolling to his right, being a lefty. You don't expect that sometimes, but rolling to his right, getting that ball to Nelson there, first down. I told you I like the way Nelson, with his quickness and his agility to make moves and get open.
Peyton, you mentioned a lefty, also a baseball player. Cole Peyton was. Now he's focused on football.
That's a big baseball player.
Indeed, 6'3", 233, chucking the spheroid from that angle. Handoff here goes, and not much going.
Can you imagine being a high school young man, seeing that guy on the mound, 233 pound lefty?
No.
Throwing that fastball right down the pipe.
Or giving you a little chin music.
I don't think you'd rush the mound, though, huh?
No, probably not. All 5'6" of myself rushing the mound. Wouldn't really be an intimidating force. So it's 2nd down and 10. Diggins sent in motion. Peyton has a second. has some time, now feeling a little bit of pressure, rolling around, creates some time, and able to complete the pass. That's going to be Kessel with his second catch of the afternoon.
It was interesting on that one. He had three options. The person he threw it to the right of him, and the short guy. So he could, I mean, the guy that was out in the flat, I should say, could throw it to either one of them, but he got the first down. Threw it to the right one, I guess, and got the first down.
That's all that's important, is getting that first down. That fresh set, moving the ball, which is now on the TSU 24-yard line. Here the handoff will go again. Big hit. Owen Johnson has checked into the game. Byron Davis in on the tackle.
You knew number 4 wasn't going to put on the brakes, wasn't going to put on any blinkers. He was going to step on the gas, and you saw him step on the gas on the outside there.
And a lot of personnel moves. You know, you'd think maybe keep him in there, see what else he can do. Nope, he ran, got that, and then ran right off the field. Here's Peyton with Panu back there in the outfield, the backfield with him. Panu, or I should say Peyton, will keep it himself and get inside the 10-yard line.
And that's something they talked about, the coaches from TSU, that they like to do with Peyton. Just run him on that quarterback draw there, that lead, whatever you want to call it, just running up through that line there with a big guard pulling and leading him through.
And sometimes they kind of create a wedge, and there can be 2, 3 sometimes guys, almost like, you know, you have a security detail like moving you through.
Only thing they were missing is the sunglasses and the earpiece, right?
Exactly. Exactly. 2 minutes to work with here.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So with that, we'll take a timeout as well. It's 38-0 North Dakota State. Back here in Nashville, Bison shutting out the Tigers so far as we approach halftime. The offensive leaders that have helped put up those 38 points, led by Panu and his 57 yards. Panu has racked up 3 touchdowns here this afternoon. And he's in the backfield here with Peyton, who's orchestrating things, sending Lance in motion. The handoff, gain of a few yards before the Tigers swarm in. And you can see Marlon Huff was excited about TSU and the stop there.
Nice defensive play by Tennessee State. It was 2nd and 1, and he lost a couple of yards there. Nice play by that defense there.
Illegal substitution. Defense, more than 11 players on the field. Half the distance of the goal, still 2nd down. Correction, it'll be a 1st down.
So it'll be a 1st and goal from the 3 with a $1:51 to play here in the first. As Peyton glances over toward the sideline and with his offensive line mentality goes into the huddle. You know, we talked about tempo at the onset, and North Dakota State not really a group that plays up tempo. They're a group that's going to work from the huddle most of the time. Nelson working a little bit. Peyton will hand it off, and it goes into the end zone for another touchdown. Little dance there from Raja Nelson.
Might as well call it a handoff of just a little flip, flip throw for the touchdown there for the Bisons. And I'm sure their fans, I mean, you got to get excited for the Bisons. They're coming here and they're doing what they're supposed to do, being the #1 team, coming in and just dominating up front right now and running their offense to a T.
44-0, awaiting the extra points from Eli Ozick. who was able to put it through the uprights, make it 45-0 North Dakota State, with 1:21 to work with here in the first half. What are you discussing at halftime, each coach? Your TSU, your Reggie Barlow, what are you talking about? And on the flip side for NDSU, that scoring play, 5.5 minutes, 60 yards, took a big chunk off the clock, 45-0 is where they sit.
You know, I can't speak for Reggie, but I can speak for myself. I've been in those situations, and I would just go in there and just tell them, hey, that clock, that film's going to be running this second half, and I'm going to see who want to play football. This is going to determine who's going to play for this football team. Games like this is where you got to get that gut check, and you want to see who's going to play hard. Now, on the flip side, North Dakota State, I think they're thinking, hey, let's go out. Some of the guys who aren't starters, let's see, can we put some people in and how they play. Give them an opportunity to get some reps and some playing time.
Ozick set to kick it off. It'll be brought down at about the 9-yard line, and that's where TSU will begin their offense. You know, this North Dakota State team, we mentioned the 5.5 minutes that they took on the last drive. First game of the year, 9 plays, 72 yards, 12 plays, 90 yards, 12 plays, 82 yards, 12 plays, 95 yards, 6.5, 7, 7.5. That condenses the game if you're able to control the clock like that.
That's what they do.
And they did that here. They've done that here in the first half.
That's what they do. And they haven't even opened it up with Lance.
Yeah. Lance has 3 receptions for 46 yards, but no touchdowns, and really haven't seen him make a huge impact on the game.
Now, that's something I just saw there that Tennessee State, they improved on last week when they ran that screen. The receivers weren't blocking very well, let's call it that. Slaughter got a nice block there, and you see you got 5 yards. Whenever you can just throw the ball out there and your receivers can get a body on the body and you can get 5 yards, that's what you want to do, just throwing that quick bubble there.
So here's McNair sending Guy over to his left. Handoff here is going to go up the middle for a few yards. Zach Simmons-Brown into the game, the redshirt freshman from Columbus, Georgia. Coming in from Garden City Community College, 5'11", $178. Less than a minute to play here in the first half. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2. You can see the 3 receivers to the top parts of your screen. Here's the handoff. Gain of maybe a yard or so. Looks like it's going to be close. Now he's going to be shy. By a little over a yard, actually.
I think they'll just let the clock run out. It's 14 seconds left. Just let the clock run out.
Tough first half for Tennessee State. North Dakota State has come in here to Nashville to put their stamp on the game.
This is the end of the first half.
And with that, the Bison, the top-ranked team in the country, have a 45-0 lead midway through this one in Nashville. Welcome back here. It's halftime in Nashville inside Nissan Stadium between the TSU Tigers and North Dakota State's Bison. And let's take a look at these two schools and the institutions that they are that facilitates the football. First up for ND State.
Love this program. Indoor facilities, awesome. They've won a lot of football games. They've won a lot of national titles year in and year out. Coaching changes, players change, but they get the same results.
Indeed, excellence at this level for the Bison. As far as when you take a look at Tennessee State, the Tigers haven't been around quite as long, but do have a nice line of NFL players.
Jefferson Street, Joe Gilliam, the quarterback, he played there. Wilma Rudolph, Had a lot of guys who played there and played at the next level. It's a great institution.
Indeed, and let's take a look at what's going forward for TSU athletics, and of course the volleyball team. Look how busy they are going to be over the next few weeks, and also to remind you, football right back at it here inside Nissan Stadium next Saturday, September 13th at 3:30 p.m. So it's halftime here in Nashville between the Bison and Tigers. More coming your way next. Home to the TSU Tigers today during the NFL season, home to the Tennessee Titans, and today it is a 45-0 North Dakota State lead as the top-ranked team in the country has come here to Nashville and has the lead over the TSU Tigers. It's been a dominating performance, 17 first downs to none, and they've obviously outscored TSU by a large margin. Came out, set the early tone with the offense, and has been able to keep things going. Let's take a look at the first half highlights as we take a gander at what they have brought us to this point, and we take a look at the quarterback Cole Payton helping set the early tone with Pinu, who racked up 57 yards and 3 touchdowns in that first half. You can see how excited he is. Pinu is a senior from Fargo, so local product, able to make it happen. And then here it was a nice return, as it was number 18, Jackson Williams, who was able to take it down and help set this one up. As for North Dakota State, that was Panu again, and they were able to make their presence felt. The Bison were throughout that first half. Logan Conklin able to have a nice pickup there. As for the TSU offense, well, there you saw Rhymes cough it up, and the Bison defense able to pounce on it.
Yeah, the Bison defense is really tough. The players, you got to love them, is Kopp, number 43, all-league guy, plays downhill. Woolen with that interception, getting into the end zone. And then the front, I mean, what can you say about McClaskland and crew up front? They're very strong at the line of scrimmage. DBs are coming downfield and hitting. Crumby, Duffy, Alexander had a couple of good plays. Backup corner, he was in there for the nickel spot, making things happen. And then you see right there, just getting into the end zone, playing downhill, strong blockers, great at the point of attack, finishing at the second level.
And for TSU, able to bring in Byron McNair, the QB2, the freshman from St. Louis, threw the interception here to Donovan Woolen, who had a big first half.
He really did have a big first half, and then you see right there, Peyton's just tossing that ball, getting into the end zone. There was Bison again. They're a strong football team. There's a reason why they're number one.
Here's the halftime stats, which are presented by United Fidelity Bank. United Fidelity Bank serving their communities since 1914. And there you see the numbers, which have the big-time edge on all of them toward the Bison. And that's what's brought us to the 45-0 North Dakota State lead. Second half comes your way next from Nashville. As we're set to get the second half underway, it'll be Eli Osick, the sophomore, to kick things off. Got his collegiate career started against TSU last year and has made a big impact on this Bison program. And he is able to kick things off here to start the third quarter. And that's going to go into the end zone. So it'll be a decent field position for TSU's offense. And Darren, when you take a look at that, is that the type of thing you go, all right, I mean, it's easier said than done, but erase the first half, let's come out here and let's play a good half of football?
Yes, that's all you can do, is just erase what happened in that first half, and let's see where your football team is, who's going to fight, who's going to go in that hole, and that's sure that's what they talked about. They're going to come out and they're going to fight.
What's interesting is it looks like Jonathan Palmer, that is going to come out under center. He started the game. Then we saw Byron McNair come in for the last 3 or so series, but here they're going back to Palmer. As here has a little bit of time, slings it over to Rhymes, who is out to about the 25-yard line before he's shoved out of bounds.
Just getting the ball out of his hands, that swing route right there, getting it to Rhymes, just trying to get up the field, playing catch. That's what you want to do to get your rhythm going and to get back into this football game.
Was brought down there by Jaquise Alexander, 5'10", 178-pound junior out of Ruskin, Florida. Here Palmer hands it off. Rhymes again. He's staying with it, and a gain of a few yards before he's brought down. So they're trying to set it up. One of the keys to the game we had talked about was Rhymes. Really didn't hear much from him in the first half, but here on the first couple plays of the second half, we have.
Trying to get him those 21 touches. He got 20 last week. I think Coach talked about that 21st carry, trying to get that, duplicate that, and you saw he went off that right side there. That offensive line got off the football there, got decent yardage.
Yeah, had only 6 carries in the first half for 20 yards. Longest carry was 11. As Palmer, nothing going, and he is immediately brought down. That was Keenan Wilson that got into the backfield. Looked like he was unscathed.
Like a blitz, and he just did an L step or something to get up through that gap and make that play in the backfield. Good call by the defense. Yeah, he just went an L step, went to the right there, and got up the field. Big loss. Tigers have to punt.
Keenan Wilson, 6'1", 283 pounds, showing off a little speed there. As Shinuda will come on and punt again. 5th punt of the game for Shinuda, who is the redshirt sophomore from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Slings it back to about the 30-yard line. As Jackson Williams has the fair catch, and that's where the Bison will take over as we continue from Nashville. North Dakota State leads TSU. Back here in Nashville, 45-0 Bison lead the Tigers, playing here in the 3rd quarter at Nissan Stadium. And let's take a look at some of the notable alums of North Dakota State. Carson Wentz really pops out, one of the big guys.
Played really well for Philadelphia, got injured, and now he's just been stable going around the different teams, but a really good player for the Bison.
Here's a handoff and nothing going. DJ Scott on the carry. By the way, most points in a half for North Dakota State since 49 in the first half of their game against Robert Morris in a 56-0 home win back in September of 2017. So a very big first half for North Dakota State, and they're going to look to keep adding to it.
Yeah, James Stewart made a nice play there, and there's a lot of energy on that defense. I like the way they're coming out the second half, the Tigers.
Man in motion. Toss over. As QB2, Nathan Hayes has checked into the game. Was a perfect 5 for 5 in the opener against the Citadel. Had a touchdown. 71 yards. Junior from Chicago.
Yeah, it was Jaden Cook there, number 21, made that tackle. About 3rd and 6 or 7 there for the Bison.
Man in motion is Carson Williams. Hayes taking his time, as the Bison offense does. Now he's going to go up top, looking deep and way overthrowing his man. He was looking there for Logan Conklin, but was unable to find him. Just had a little bit too much, or actually a lot too much on that one. And you can see the discussion that Hayes is having with the coach as he comes off the field.
Baker was there, number 28 for the Tigers on the defensive back. Nice coverage by him. Just had a little too much on the ball, like you said, the quarterback did.
So it'll be a 4th down and 7. Last second personnel changes for TSU as the kick is off. And it'll bounce. We'll take a Bison bounce as TSU will come onto the field with the offense here from their own 30-yard line.
Thought they had more energy coming out starting the second half. We'll see, can they continue with that, getting the ball into Rhymes' hands. And also you want to try to get it to Slaughter. Slaughter has that speed.
Rhymes discussing things. Now Palmer orchestrating. Palmer takes the snap, and his pass is incomplete. Threw it amongst a pair of Bison jerseys.
Yeah, it's tough to throw the ball, but number 54, Wayne, got a lot of pressure on him from that middle, and by the time Palmer got rid of that ball, he ended up on his back, taking a hit.
So it'll bring on a 2nd down and 10. Palmer looking left, and that pass not near his guy. He was looking for Devon Slaughter.
Yeah, it was just so slow developing. Palmer didn't have a lot of time. Once the receiver got across and turned his head, he was trying to throw the ball, took another hit there, wasn't able to get it off and follow through with the throw.
What do you think of TSU bringing Palmer back into the game after McNair wrapped up that first half? From a coaching perspective.
Yeah, they're not going to give up on him. They put a lot of time. Like they said, he was the number 1 last week. So they're going to give him an opportunity to get some reps. I think that's the biggest thing. He hasn't played a lot. So you want him to play. It's a great play right here, the screen call.
And indeed able to complete it out to almost the 40-yard line and almost a 1st down. And there was able to thread the needle. And that's one of the things that Reggie Barlow, the TSU head coach, said, is that Jonathan Palmer has shown flashes. You know, we saw it in that first half. We saw it here. He just needs some consistency. But keep in mind, he didn't play at Gardner-Webb. So he sat out for a year, and now he is here at TSU. So last game and this are his first college experiences on the field in a game.
They're 2 quarterbacks, McNair and Palmer. They need reps. That's how they're going to get better. They just need reps and be in the game. But, you know, you do have to be able to follow through on your throws.
Kick goes toward Jackson Williams, who is going to let it bounce. Takes a Tigers bounce inside the 20. And that's where the Bison offense will come onto the field as we'll take a timeout. 45-0 North Dakota State as we roll on in Nashville. Back here in the Music City, just across the bridge from Broadway, it's Nissan Stadium. And it's the site of Tennessee State's football games. The Tigers entertaining top-ranked North Dakota State, the Bison. And there you look at the offensive numbers that we've seen so far. And big-time edge toward the Bison. Top-ranked team, as we said. Over 100 yards on the grounds, almost 200 yards passing, and almost 300 yards total of offense. That has gotten us to the 45-0 lead for the Bison. And Scott, again, able to pick up a decent gain despite the fact that it looked like some Tigers were there early. So even when you take a gander in there, and it looks like North Dakota State still has in a lot of their big fellas, including Trent Fraley, and that mentality is still there, even up 45-zip.
17-0 first downs. That's the, to me, that's the big key right there.
Here's Hayes taking a few moments. Now he's going to hand it off. And another gain, looks like close to the first down. But it's going to be, I thought it was going to be shy by about a yard, but nope, they're going to give him the first down.
Nice run up the middle. I mean, that offensive line, they're solid. There's some new shirts in there, but they're still running downhill. They're still making things happen. Look at that, just strong up the middle. This is great for Hayes, too, to get an opportunity to come in and get some reps.
We'll see how long they have him in as he's able to play a large portion. Came in here at the onset of the third quarter. Do you think it's interesting that they keep a guy like Fraley, who's a junior, came in after a couple years at Marshall where he played only one game, has come in here and made a real impact? Started 16 games a year ago, had 752 snaps, 87%, no errant snaps or fumbles. That's pretty impressive for a center.
Really impressive for a center. He's really good, and I think he's going to be playing on Sundays in a couple of years.
I mean, you look at his dad, Hank, as you hit on earlier in the broadcast. Not much going there. But Hank Fraley, 11-year NFL guy with the Eagles, the Browns, and Rams, and currently the offensive line coach with the Lions, so clearly has that pedigree. And, you know, I'm sure his father looks at a nice game film, and I'm sure they have discussions, obviously, in addition to what the Bison are doing. But when you have that added layer, it always helps.
That dinner table during high school was interesting conversations.
You can see the three receivers down toward the bottom part of your screen. Pass here is going to be caught. That's Makai Collins as he is off to the races and into the end zone. There was a flag back toward midfield.
Pass interference, defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Great play by Collins, catching that. First of all, getting open. There was a cover two, it looked like. He just caught it in that hole, made the safety miss, and then off to the races. Touchdown, Bison.
Collins able to haul that in, caught it in stride as we take another look at it here.
Caught it in that hole right there, and you see the safety coming over and just slipped there. Collins dipped inside and got into the end zone for a touchdown.
Collins has a quick gear that he can push it to, it looks like, as that kick is up and good.
And I like his size. I mean, 6'4", 214 pounds. Great size.
And great speed, and that's gotten North Dakota State another touchdown as they sit at 52-0 here over TSU. TSU will be back in action next week here at home. Interesting 8-game home slate for TSU. Next week it'll be Alabama A&M as part of the Legacy Series. That'll be a 3:30 go time. Then there's a bye week, and then here at home against Tennessee Tech at 3:30. You won't be with me next week. You're leaving me. You're going out west.
Yes, I'll be out west next week, but I'll be back. I enjoy my time here. I'll definitely be back.
The Hall of Famer going to be out there calling a little Sac State football.
Yeah.
That's going to sail into the end zone. So the touchback will bring TSU's offense back on.
What flaws do you see that North Dakota State has?
as there's a long pause. Maybe has their defensive line gotten into the pocket enough? I'm just saying I'm nitpicking, but you're asking me to come up with something.
Yeah, Tennessee State's not holding the football, though. They're throwing quick passes.
Point. See, so that takes that away from me. All right. Okay, so I'll flip it back to you, okay. Mr. Coach, Mr. Former Player, Mr. 5-time Hall of Famer.
Okay.
What do you see?
I think they're well-rounded. I think they're solid special teams, defense. I think they have depth on this team, and I think that's what they're going to need to get back to where they were last year. They have depth on this team. The kicker's good, and quarterback strong. He really is.
Here's the handoff. There's some space for Rhymes as he's close to midfield before he's brought down, and he signals for that big first down. He's got some energy, Rhymes does. Plays with a bit of swagger, which they want to see.
Yeah, he's playing with a lot of energy on that last series when they were going off. He was barking. He was upset. And, you know, he told the coach, hey, give me the football. And you see what he does when he's angry, and had some help with that offensive line opening up those holes. Big game by him.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the TSU 46. Just under 6 minutes to work with here in quarter number 3 as the handoff goes out toward midfield. Pickup of a couple yards. So you're quite the politician. You gave me all the positives. You didn't really point out any negatives. So are you going to go with kind of what I said? Like there's not much really of the negative component toward the Bison?
I think we only can go off of what we've seen with this football team.
You are.
And watching the film last week, and watching them play this week, that's what I see.
You're a politician. That was another nice answer. Here's the handoff again for Rhymes, and again pushing forward. And he'll be about a half-yard shy or so, it looks like, of a first down.
Rhymes is coming out with a lot of energy, and that offensive line is playing with a lot of energy. Anytime as a football player you look at that scoreboard and there's a goose egg up there and you've given up 52, that digs in your craw.
Yeah?
Yes.
The offensive unit as a whole, but the offensive line in particular?
Oh, yeah.
Here's Palmer as he finds his receiver, and that is going to be number 14, Tyson Edwards, with his second catch of the year.
Yeah, the redshirt sophomore, 6'2", 189-pounder, just ran that slant, caught that football. Strong hands. Like how he had the strong hands, covered it up, and got the first down.
Both was sent in a bit of motion. Now here's Palmer. Low snap. Hands it off. Rhymes in a bit of trouble. Trying to turn it upfield. And does so. Pickup of a couple yards. Nice job there of him making a little something out of what appeared not to be much.
Yeah, Vanderpool, number 95, ran over to the sidelines and got him down before he was able to get up the field there. Now, Rhymes is giving it everything he has, as well as that offensive line. And coaches, whatever they said, they need to bottle that up and keep giving that speech.
Rhymes looked at as the home run hitter. We'll see how his leadership component takes on as this season carries on. The handoff there, nothing going for Zach Simmons-Brown. That was sniffed out immediately.
Yes, it was. Zach Simmons-Brown, the redshirt freshman, just didn't have anywhere to go, and there was a lot of white shirts in front of him.
Two receivers to each side. Now they're sending Guy in motion. on a 3rd and 11. Palmer, not much time as he tosses it.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. There was a receiver in the area.
So they brought 6 there. When the guy went in motion, the DB, the linebacker ran with him, and then they all came. It's a good call, just couldn't get the ball completed in the screen pass.
So here they're going to bring on Freddie Perez as he's hit one from 40 plus. They think he has the leg that could go toward 50 yards, but that is going to be just shy. So Perez unable to net the points. And that's going to bring us to another timeout. 2.5 to work with in the 3rd. It's all Bison. Back here inside Nissan Stadium, 2:27 to work with here in the 3rd, and it's a 52-0 Bison lead. Top team in the country has that over the Tigers. 2nd straight year these teams have met. There you see some of the notable alums from Tennessee State's. 1st round pick. 1st pick overall, 1974. Ed Too Tall Jones, 15 seasons in the NFL. Won a Super Bowl, Black College Hall of Famer. Had 57.5 sacks.
Played really well for the Cowboys. Too Tall, Randy White.
Handoff here goes, and swarming are the Tigers.
Now you have that backup line in for the Bison. Schmitz at center. 6'3", 298-pound redshirt freshman.
See how he does replacing Fraley. Hayes tips it over, and that's almost picked off into and out of the hands of the Tigers.
Yeah, I thought that was a gift there. Should have caught that one. Just wasn't able to bring it in.
That was a Pokey Fakosi who almost had that. So to bring on a 3rd and 13.
Look at them playing the sticks, Dan. You see that everyone's at the sticks, the defensive backfield and the secondary, even the linebackers.
Here's Hayes. He's going up top, wrestling for it, and that's going to be incomplete. And no laundry thrown on the field, much to the dismay of North Dakota State's. They were looking for a flag. The deep man there, Isaiah St. Romain.
Yeah, St. Romain was trying to sell that there, but the back judge wasn't buying it.
Anthony Taylor set to receive for TSU. We'll take a bounce inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line, so that's where TSU will take over. Trying to get on the board with 1:24 to play here in the 3rd.
Since they put in their backups on the offensive line, the defensive line, they're doing it as well.
For you as a coach, and every coach is different, every scenario is different, but at what point do you start making wholesale changes? Do you have a number in mind, or is it kind of just the flow of the game, how much time's left, or how do you manage that?
It's 52-0. And I'll tell you this, you got to go in the athletic director's office on Monday and tell him his star linebacker got hurt in a game in the fourth quarter when the score was 52-0. How do you think that conversation is going to go?
Not great. I just imagine. I haven't been put in that scenario, but 52, 55, 41, like at what point is it 50 plus? Is there a number in your mind if you're patrolling the sideline as a coach where you go, okay, it's time?
It's not a number, it's how you're dominating the game.
Okay.
It's how you're dominating the game. And then you also look at the time factor. Now at this point, they're not scoring, so you would look at is it taking them 4 minutes to score? You know, they would only be able to score 4 touchdowns. So at worst, if I put my second guys in and they scored 4 times.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the pocket and threw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
We would still win 52-28.
Mm-hmm.
You should look at that. And right now they're not scoring, so you feel pretty comfortable putting in your backups right now.
And the same idea with offense, because you're up that much. Your offense, you're not necessarily looking to put up points. If you do, that's a plus. That's great. Your guys are looking good.
I think some coaches would tell you it's not my job to stop my offense. It's your job to stop my offense.
Mm-hmm. Probably just about every coach would say that, right?
Yes.
Not most, just about everyone.
Yes. Yes.
See, again, you're trying to be nice. You're trying to be the politician.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a politician. That's just the way it is. It's if you can score points, you score points.
Mm-hmm. Well, and why take away, a chance for a guy to make a headline play, a headline grabbing play for him? If a guy's in a game late and it's a blowout, that may be his play of the year. That might be the play of his career, the play he can remember.
I'm going to tell you the hard word because I see you digging right now, so I'm going to help you out, okay?
Okay.
Say a young man has 180 yards, and it's your star running back.
Here's Williams to the 40. He has some space to the 50 into TSU territory before he's put out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
And your star running back, who's a big part of you winning football games, 180 yards. You're up 52-0. Do you leave him in and get the 200 yards, or do you take him out?
All right. Do you leave it up to him?
No.
Okay.
You leave him in, and something happens. Your season changes. Did that help you? That's what you're trying to dig at?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm sure our viewers and listeners appreciate that as well, wherever you may be viewing and listening from. We appreciate it. Dan Lang, Darren Arbett with you from Nashville, Tennessee. There's a nice gain there for number 28.
This is the end of the third quarter.
And that's going to bring us to the final stanza here in Nashville. It's a 52-0 North Dakota State lead on TSU. We come back with that after this. Top-ranked team in the land, North Dakota State, the Bison, putting up the goose egg on TSU. 52-zip as we go to the fourth quarter of action and take a quick look at our game today. 3 touchdown runs for Caputo. And then you have Mr. Rhymes, 43 yards, and big advantage to North Dakota State as far as offense goes. And there you see nice defensive play for TSU, and Brent Rowe coming in big, the senior from Milwaukee.
Just went right down the middle there. Run blitz. Made a big tackle there by Rowe. North Dakota State had a body on a body up front. They didn't account for that second level blitz.
Hayes, 2 of 5, 72 yards, and that touchdown pass. We'll hand it off here. And not much going for Miles Mitchell, a freshman from the Windy City, from Chicago, Illinois. Mitchell getting the handoff,
going on the outside there, just wasn't able to get around the corner.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 11.
Number 13, Dixon, made a nice tackle there. Dixon from St. Louis.
Hayes working from the shotgun, slings it toward the center of the field, and that's going to be picked off. Taken away, an aggressive move there. Byron Davis stepping up for TSU.
The ruling on the field is an interception by the defense. It'll be 1st down, Tennessee State.
What a play by Davis, the junior from Nashville, Tennessee. Stripping that ball, nickel back, stripping that thing, throwing it. Look at him strip that ball out and just take it away from the receiver. That's what you want to see when you turn on the tape of this second half if you're a Tennessee State coach. You want to see plays like that.
Guy that's focused, reared up, had a 52-0 game, coming away with the interception, and that's a redshirt sophomore, Davis, 6'1", 195 pounds. Another local product from Nashville. Know he has some friends and family here in attendance. So it'll be a 1st and 10 from their own 13 for TSU. Again, trying to get on the board. And nothing going there. That North Dakota State's defensive line getting back there.
Yeah, they're L-stepping. What that means, you go lateral, and then you go up the field, and they're shooting those gaps. And you saw 2 to 3 white shirts back there, and it's tough when you get those handoffs, and there's no room there to get any yardage.
Alane Burley was in on the stop for the Bison. So a loss of 5. Pushes them back to their own 8-yard line. Hand off here, and not much happening for Simmons Brown.
I mean, these second unit guys are really getting up the field, using their hands well, getting off blocks for the Bison.
You know, and for TSU, working with Caleb McCreary, the package guy, situational quarterback that we haven't seen much of in these first 2 games. As McCreary here will keep it himself, stumble a bit, now trying to juke out a couple of Bison defenders, unable to do so, and getting it out to about the 8-yard line or so.
Yeah, the Troy transfer just kept that ball himself and tried to get up the field there.
So that's going to bring up a 4th and 15. As that is going to bring on the punt team yet again.
Look for this to be a punt towards the sideline, hopefully get as much as they can get, and then get out of bounds.
Shanuda has that one toward midfield, and that is where North Dakota State will pick things up. We'll take a timeout. Just north of 11 minutes to play. All Bison. Back here inside Nissan Stadium, home of the NFL's Tennessee Titans. Today home to the TSU Tigers, who are entertaining North Dakota State, the top team in FCS, the defending national champs. And now you see the upcoming game schedule for TSU, which is presented by Sunbelt Bakery, the tastiest flavors under the sun. And you see TSU this year, a total of 8 home games, so 2 more straight, so that's 4 to begin the season. Alabama A&M, Tennessee Tech are your next two, and then TSU hits the road against Eastern Illinois and SEMO before coming home for homecoming against Howard as the Bison come here to Nashville after the Tigers last year went up to D.C. and played Howard for their homecoming. Here's a quick handoff and a big chunk of yardage picked up there, as that's number 45. That's Miles Mitchell again, that freshman has come in, had a couple nice big carries.
Now that's what Coach Williams was talking about, where a gap wasn't filled right there. That was a gap. That was like the B gap wasn't filled. Somebody didn't take B gap, and that's how he broke that run right there.
Hayes is going to hand it off. There's Mitchell still on his feet. He's got some daylight before being shoved out of bounds. So another big pickup there for the freshman Miles Mitchell.
Someone was in their gap, then they got their head on the wrong side. Lineman was able to get a body on him. Then you see him able to bounce outside right there and get into that second level before he's pushed out of bounds by number 27, Byron Davis.
Byron Davis has had a pretty good game for TSU. We've talked about him a few times. He had the interception. He's had a couple big hits. So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the TSU 14 for the Bison. Here the handoff goes, and why not keep going with that, right? Why not keep going back to the well and keep handing it off if indeed you can keep getting a bunch of yardage, as that was Cortez LeGrant, the sophomore out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
Sammy Taylor, number 25, made that tackle, but that was a nice run off that left side. Look at them just pinning right there. Nice block by Tallstad. Just getting that pin there that got him at tackle now, number 71. He's playing tackle, left tackle.
And off here, again, a couple yardage gain for LeGrant. Trey Drake is under center for North Dakota State, the sophomore from Jamestown, New York. So they dressed, North Dakota State did, 78 players. They were hoping that all would get in here this afternoon, saying that that was sort of the plan and the hope. And I don't have in front of me the exact participation, but they have used a lot of personnel. They've gone deep into the depth chart, which is good if you're North Dakota State. Gets guys into game, gets guys feeling, and of course, you know, you still have some time to get them some college experience. As the handoff here goes, trying to crash into the end zone and getting in. So another touchdown, and that is going to be the freshman Mitchell going in.
Yeah, Myron Mitchell got in there, and to answer your question, over, under, I would say everyone's going to get in unless they have an injury or they're a little owie that the coach doesn't want them to play. Hey, this is a good game, let them sit and have them ready for the next game. But yeah, over, under would say they're going to get in, but Mitchell there dropped his shoulder, got into the end zone. This backup line is doing a nice job getting off the football, controlling that line of scrimmage.
So 58-0, and the extra point is up and good, so make it 59-0. The Bison, the top-ranked team in the country, have the lead over the Tigers. Timeout on the field. We'll take it as well as the fourth continues here in Nashville. Back here inside Nissan Stadium, top-ranked team in the country in FCS football, sitting at 59-0 over TSU. 10-time FCS national champions North Dakota State is. And there you take a look at the defensive numbers that have been posted so far by these squads. Not many sacks, only one combined. Over 400 yards of offense for North Dakota State in this game. They've been able to spread the wealth around, which is what they wanted to see. Drew Klein set to kick things off. That's going to be fielded at about the 3-yard line. So he did a nice job there, Klein did, of placing TSU deep in their own territory.
Yeah, that fair catch, it goes out to the 25-yard line, yes.
But you look at, we had talked about personnel moves and getting everybody in. Then you see the idea of the red shirt component. So that allows you to get some guys, a little bit of game action, but you still have the red shirt in your back pocket. But yet they still are able to get a little bit of experience today for both teams.
Absolutely. That's what you want to do, and just get them on film. And this is a great game to gauge some of these young men.
Pass is caught close to a first down. McCreary able to find Hughes. Hughes is a guy the coaches are very high on, has lots of upside, so we're expecting to see more from him as the season carries on.
Yeah, big play, like you said, upside. Memphis, Arkansas Baptist. Now he's back at home in Nashville, played at Lipscomb Academy for high school.
McCreary here going to keep it himself as he pushes out across the 45-yard line, close to a first down.
Now that gives you a different dimension right there where he can pull that, and he's shifty and he can run.
So we've seen that more from him than even Byron McNair, who is looked at as the QB2 and a guy that they like the running ability from. Palmer, QB1, they really like his passing ability. And it's just a matter of somebody getting comfortable and maybe different situational package-wise figuring it out. As here, big yardage for Simmons Brown as he busts loose and down to about the 25-yard line before he's brought down.
Nice run by Simmons Brown, just broke through that. Shoulder pads down, had some good speed. Just wasn't able to finish it off. Defense did a nice job pursuing him and getting him down, but not before he had a big gain. Look at that. Sees that hole. Nice cut right there. Nice play.
Simmons Brown from Columbus, Georgia. 6.5 to work with. 59-0. TSU trying to get on the board, trying to break through, get that goose egg off of there. Pushing forward for a few yards. How important is that when you take a look? You know, sure, it's 59-0, but getting some points, getting something, so it's not a zero.
You said it. You always want to get some points. You don't want that goose egg up there, especially from an offensive coordinator, because your resume is what you average.
Come on, you can be a big play guy though. But I guess then you'd average a lot of yards. Okay, I'll take that back. Here we have a 2nd down and 7. Handoff here. Not much going for Simmons Brown.
Just up the middle there. Nice run. Irby, number 77's in the game. Are you talking about a big fella?
I was just looking at that.
Oh, he can block the sun out at 6'8", 342 pounds.
That's a big dude.
Yes, Butler Community College.
Wearing number 77, you can see him coming out there on the field toward the top part of your screen. Snap was high. McCreary, nothing going. Looked like he was going to hand it off, but instead took it the other way. But that didn't fool the Bison at all.
No, the Bison saw that. Chance Simons coming off that edge right there made that play, number 11. This is his range right here, this field goal.
Freddie Perez is on. High 40s is what they've seen, so depending on the wind, they said, you know, you can push it to the low 50s range is what they were saying, but they really like Freddie's leg. Here the kick is up. It has the distance, and it is through. TSU breaks through here in the fourth with a field goal from Freddie Perez. The sophomore able to get the Tigers on the board. We'll take a timeout. Back to Nashville in a flash. Nissan Stadium. Tennessee State getting on the board. It's now 59-3. North Dakota State has the lead, and a year ago, the Bison were able to pick up the 52-3 win over TSU in Fargo, inside the Fargo Dome as part of the 35th annual Trees Bowl. And there you see North Dakota State's upcoming schedule as it's presented by Sunbelt Bakery. And you can see they have SEMO coming up on the 13th, so another OVC Big South school, and then South Dakota at Illinois State, Southern Illinois at Indiana State. So keep an eye on NDSU as their season progresses. Top team in the land, and today living up to that billing, sitting at 59-3. You know, we talk about what happened last year, and you look at the fact that TSU, just roster-wise, only one player started in that game that is playing here today. Total of 5 players that are on the roster had a couple plays in that game for TSU. And 16 players on the flip side for North Dakota State were in that game.
And 12 were starters.
Yep.
6 on offense, 6 on defense.
Yep. Here it's going to be taken out to the 25-yard line, a burst of speed, but flag thrown down late.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Experience.
Yes, big difference.
Going up against big guys, knowing what the other team's going to do. Granted, I guess maybe not in this sense because TSU has a new coach and a lot of new personnel. So a lot of things have changed for TSU.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, kicking team number 35. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down, North Dakota State.
And what did Coach Barlow talk about?
Penalties.
3.
Yep. Last week they had 8. TSU did. Today they have 5.
Okay. Cutting that down.
Cutting that down a little bit. Gain of a few yards. So Freddie Perez able to make that field goal from 45 yards. Freddie's perfect on the season. Had the 41-yarder last week against NCAAF and the 45-yarder here today.
I will say this. It's going to make a difference in this season having Freddie Perez. It's going to be some games where you're going to need that 35-yard field goal, that 28-yard field goal, that 40-yard field goal to stay in a football game.
And they like the confidence that he plays with. Here the pass, complete from Drake.
Zabel caught that ball, number 85, another tight end. This team is loaded with tight ends. You see, caught that ball, stiff arm someone, and made a nice play there for his football team.
A little under 3 minutes to play in the game. Drake hands it off. Scooting forward is that freshman Miles Mitchell.
That was a really nice run by Miles Mitchell off that right side. Got it to that second level. Then when he saw that safety coming, nice little spin move to get a few more yards.
Miles Mitchell, majoring in sport management, wants to be in the front office of a football team. High school, also participated in basketball and track, so we can see the speed.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
We'll take it as well as the Bison, the top-ranked team in the country, have the 59-3 lead over TSU. And there you see the trophy. The FCS National Championship game is coming here to Nashville, held at First Bank Stadium that houses Vanderbilt University here in the Music City. It'll be held on January 5th of 2026, hosted by the OVC and the Nashville Sports Council. Also host the event in 2027. So might be seeing North Dakota State back here. Again, keeping an eye on how their season may progress. 59-3 is where this game stands, with a couple minutes to work with in the contest. Dan Lang, Darren Arbett with you from Nashville, as Trey Drake is trying to make something with his time under center. He'll hand it off. Gain there of a few yards. And there you see the next game, indeed, that we'll have for you here on ESPN Plus. That'll be next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. go time, Central Time, of course, as TSU will be hosting Alabama A&M as part of the Legacy Series. So we hope you'll tune in. We'll look for you.
Yeah, Rowe made that tackle number 11 on the play before that, so.
Here's Drake. Again, he'll hand it off. Gain of a few yards before LeGrant is brought down. Drake is majoring in physical education. Both of his parents played college basketball at SUNY Brockport, so an athletic family.
Holding, offense number 69. It's a 5-yard or 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
Yeah, TSU player broke through that A gap there. A Bison was pulling and just grabbed him. You're going to see here the pull. Look at that right there. It's number 69 for the Bison. Beat inside and just grabbed Tigers player there.
Trey Drake is a guy that is one of the harder workers on the team. Entered last season as the 4th string quarterback, moved up to the travel squad as the number 3 quarterback for the final 8 games. This year, still working hard, still trying to bust through, and of course he's only a sophomore. As he peers over toward the sideline.
Dominic Dixon making that play there for the Tigers, defensive back.
41 seconds to work with, and the officials want to huddle. 59-3. North Dakota State has the lead. Pretty good NDSU gathering. They played the Citadel last week, week 1, got the 38-0 victory then. And a lot of their fans stayed in the region, sauntered over here toward Nashville, spent some time here in the Music City, rolling around the Broadway area, which is across the bridge from us here at Nissan Stadium. And
the correct down is going to be 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down and 15 with the ball on the TSU 46-yard line.
You mentioned that. I was just looking at all the fans on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
The Bison fans, that is.
The green and gold.
The green and gold.
They travel well. They always travel well. They have games in the future in San Antonio that they're looking forward to. I asked if this was a game that they would have any recruits at, and they said no, as the knee goes down, and that is how this one is going to end. North Dakota State had a script. They came in here to Nashville and were able to pull it off 59-3 as they were able to dominate the game in every facet of the contest over TSU. The Bison taking last year's game and winning here this year in Nashville. Final thoughts?
I mean, they came in and they did what they were. Everyone thought they were going to do. They played well on all 3 phases. Their offensive line, they played really physical.
They had a bunch of energy.
The fans came strong. I thought Tennessee State, it's about what they thought it was going to be. I think they got a lot to work on. I love this coaching staff. They got a great coaching staff. I think they're going to get this turned around. Reggie Barlow is a tremendous coach. Shannon Harris is a tremendous coach.
And they're going to get ready for next week. So for Darren Arbetz, I'm Dan Lang saying so long from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Again, the final score, North Dakota State's the top team over TSU 59-3. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Have a great afternoon, everybody.